alone is the best. And people don't realize how good it is to have control over your own destiny and over your own activities and whatever you're doing. Just to give you one little simple example. Yesterday I went and did some off-roading in the mountains by myself. And today I'm gonna go ahead and do the same, but I'm gonna go with friends today. Was it planned? No. Do I have to explain anything to anybody? What I'm doing? When am I going to be back? Why am I going second day in a row? Blah, blah, blah. No, I don't. I do what I want, when I want, as I want. And that is often understated benefit of just living alone. You have no headaches, you can do what you want, and nobody is there to nag you or make you feel guilty or make you feel like you should be doing something else or questioning your activities. So live alone, guys. Live alone. It's the best.
Women are confused how single men are surviving the economy in 2026 like it's some kind of miracle. But here's the twist. He's surviving because he simplified. No wedding fund. No dating rotation expenses. No constant pressure to impress, upgrade, entertain, or level up for approval. Just one budget, one routine, one set of goals.
It honestly pains me to see women constantly explaining to men that they would rather be alone than to be in a relationship with them.
Okay, but why?
They don't understand. They don't understand because the cognitive dissonance.
Well, that's an interesting theory.
They can't imagine because they can't do it. They can't be alone. Literally, they ruminate when they're alone. Their mind wanders all over the place. They hate their own company.
Well, actually, contrary to those statements, there are actually quite a large number of men that really do choose to remain single because they actually find it to be more peaceful.
A man cannot stand the thought of being alone, so he cannot believe you when you say you're happier alone. They can't do it, so they can't imagine that you can do it. They honestly believe that you're lying.
Why do so many individuals insist on leaving out very crucial words in these types of statements, such as the word some?
Stop trying to convince them that you're happier alone. We know we are. Just be alone.
I'm starting to think that a lot of these individuals out there have not really spoken to a wide variety of men. Because like I said, there are already a lot of men out there who have decided that, for many of the same reasons that women do, remaining single is honestly the most peaceful route that they can take.
The modern economy punishes chaos, and single men quietly removed a major variable: relationship overhead.
I just saw a TikTok of a girl saying how annoying it is when people say, you'll get a boyfriend when the time is right and blah, 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 blah. And it's going to happen when it's right for you. And it happens when you least expect it. And all those annoying things. And as a girl who was single for literally 10 years, all of my 20s single, I have something to say about this. Okay, I'm putting my phone down because we need to have a serious chat about this. As I just said, I was single for all of my 20s. I'm 28. I'm in my first adult relationship, okay? And when I tell you the obnoxious things people say are true, and I get it, it's annoying because it's always coming from a girl with a boyfriend. But here's the difference between me and those girls is that I know what it's like to be single and literally not even be close to getting into a relationship. I had a few situationships, but like realistically speaking, I look back and I go, I was not close to a relationship at all. So it's different coming from me. And one of my really best friends, she's been on the same path. We've been the single girlies. All of our friends are in healthy, stable relationships. And her and I have just remained single. And I finally got a boyfriend and she was like, girl, like, I hate to say it, it's true. I hate to say it, it was true. If I would have met this guy 3 months before, 6 months before, a year before, 2 years before, whatever, it would not have gone as smoothly as it did, okay? It wouldn't have. It happened exactly when it was meant to, okay? And there's a few reasons for that. I can expand, but that's true. It will happen when it's right for you. And you just have to have a little bit more faith and excitement about that. Don't be annoyed that it's not happening now, even though it is annoying, I get it. But think about like, wow, that's gonna be so fire when it does happen. I had so many people say so many mean things to me about the fact that I was still single and there was a lot of concern in the air. and making it like a me problem. And I looked at people and I would laugh behind their backs and be like, little do you know, when I do get a boyfriend, it will be the perfect person for me. Like, I'm not gonna be settling for anyone. That means you just can't have them right when you want them, right when, like, you gotta be in a good place for it, okay? You can't be toxic anymore. You can't be putting up with shit. Your standards have to be high. Like, all those things need to be right in order for you to bring the right guy and be able to handle it, okay? Because maybe you can get the right guy at the wrong time. I think that happens, but like, I don't want the good guy at the wrong time. I want him at the right time, which means you gotta be in a good position, okay? Number 2, it'll happen when you least expect it. Unfortunately, also true. I'm sorry to say it. It doesn't mean it's gonna happen when you least expect it in your life. Like, I was very much looking to be in a relationship. I was very much looking to go on dates with guys. I was very much looking to find my person. But the day that I met him, my guard was down. I wasn't at the pub looking around trying to find like which one of these guys can be my boyfriend, which is what I would do sometimes. Instead, I was looking around being like, who can I flirt with today? Like, which guys look cute? And it was a very different mentality than I usually had, okay? I was feeling very different that day. And that's the day I met him. I'm like, fuck, they were right. It did happen when I least expected it. Like, I genuinely did not expect that day. I was wearing my hair in a bun, okay? Hair in a bun. I did not look that cute. I did not look cute. And my jeans were way too baggy. Unfortunately, those things are true. And I do have a lot of advice when it comes to this vibe. Just some big sis advice I got for you.
It turns out when a man isn't financing constant outings, performance gestures, and lifestyle inflation, his money stretches further. When he isn't trying to compete socially, he competes financially. When he isn't splitting focus between validation and ambition, he doubles down on stability. And that's what's confusing.
All right, I might ruffle some feathers with this one, but if you thought that dating in 2025 was bad, 2026 just cremated it. Dating isn't just cooked anymore. It's overcooked, charcoal, burnt. And here's where it went wrong. Everyone was told they deserved the best without becoming better. Now, we've got people who want marriage benefits with talking stage effort. Everybody wants loyalty, nobody wants discipline. Everybody wants honesty, nobody wants accountability. Social media has convinced people that they've got many options, and dating apps convince them that they're special. Now, average effort thinks it deserves elite results. Men are becoming more feminine, women are becoming more masculine, and everyone is shocked why. I'll tell you why. You've got men who want constant reassurance and emotional fucking babysitting. And you've got women who want to lead, dominate, and debate everything like it's a freaking podcast. Men say that women are unrealistic, and women say that men are immature. Although both are right, both are still single. I miss when dating used to be, how do we build this together, babe? Now it's, well, what can I get without committing? And no, this isn't a gender war. I just want to put that out there. It's standards without structure. Like, you can't want traditional love with modern laziness. You can't want peace while acting like chaos is freaking cute. See, here's the part that people hate hearing. A feminine woman does not weaken a man. She actually controls him better than any force ever could. Because a calm, soft, grounded, feminine woman will have a strong man working harder than any argument ever will. And a strong man doesn't suppress a woman. He gives her space to soften up. But instead, we've got men avoiding responsibility, women avoiding softness, and both calling it independence. Hey, newsflash, people, you can't have two leaders in a romantic relationship. Just like you can't have two followers. That's not a relationship. That's just chaos with matching outfits. Now, we don't need men acting like men from 1920s. And we don't need women pretending that they don't need men at all. We need men to be men and women to be women, and both to stop being offended by biology. Disagree with me in the comments. I'll wait.
The assumption was that single men would spiral, lonely, broke, directionless. Instead, many streamlined. Smaller apartments, practical cars, simple routines, less consumption, more investing, less social performance, more strategic patience. It's not glamorous, it's not viral, it's efficient.
So in 2026, I've decided that I am not going to date. And just to give you guys context, I am going to be 6 years single in 2026. And to be honest, yes, I have met men. I've talked to men and everything, but they just have never been the one. It's never gotten to a place where I'm going to be in a relationship. It's never been that. I always make a joke that I never make it past a month talking to anybody, because that's just the truth and the reality of my situation. And to be really honest with you guys, it's me deciding to not date is more me dying to my flesh, because I've had to really reflect that the men that I keep entertaining are just not good for me at all. And the man that I will love to marry one day, it requires a shift in me to be able to be the woman for my husband, because I'm dating to marry. So in order for me to be able to attract what I am praying for, I need to start walking as if I am that person. So that's why I've decided that in 2026, I am not going to date, unless, of course, because things can change, and I'm a big believer. I believe in God. So if God has someone for me, then that's probably going to be the time where I will be open to it. But until then, I am going to focus on myself, and yeah, so we'll see how that goes.
The shock isn't that he's surviving, it's that he's comfortable. Because a man who doesn't feel pressured to prove himself spends differently. He saves differently. He plans long-term. He treats his time like capital and his energy like an asset.
This is why you're struggling to decenter men. Your brain is literally wired to center them. You have been in a trauma bond with men since pretty much the moment you were born, because we are raised into a society that tells us that a mother's love is unconditional, but a father's love is earned and often intermittent. So before you even have words to describe anything in the world, when you are still figuring out what this world is, you are already locked into a trauma bond where you know that affection and care from your mother figure is guaranteed, and affection and care from your father figure is not. And automatically, that intermittent care versus continual care creates a stronger reaction in us. We are biologically programmed to care more about things that we only get sometimes, because our bodies think that we need to focus on making sure we have enough of those things to survive. You never have to focus on whether you have enough of your mother's love to survive. Do you know what I mean? So already you are raised in this trauma bond that forces you to focus on and elevate men's affection. Think about it. As a woman, your assessment of yourself, of course, you could be arrogant, you could be deluded, you could not be seeing yourself clearly, but men's opinion is impartial. They have no reason to lie, so of course they must be telling the truth, right? It's bullshit, but it's what we're raised to believe. In 1,000 different ways, 1,000 different tiny situations, it's reinforced to us that we are not the final authority on our own value, and that men are the final authority on our value. That men can somehow see us clearer than we can see ourselves, and we shouldn't trust our own assessment because we are not trustworthy beings. So when you are taught in a million different ways throughout your life that men's affection must be earned, trauma bond, and that men are the authorities on your own opinion of yourself instead of you, and therefore you don't have the authority to decide whether your life is enough, whether you are enough, whether your experience is enough, then of course you will default to being centered on men. You will default to the authority that your brain knows. That's why the real work of decentering men is not just external. It's not just reading books by women. It's not just listening to music by women. It's actually excavating and pulling up by the roots the fucking weeds that patriarchy has planted within us to stop us from living our best lives.
And in an economy where everything is expensive, The cheapest lifestyle is often the one without constant negotiation. He didn't hack the system. He reduced it. And sometimes the most powerful move in 2026 isn't earning more. It's needing less.
The way that society views single men versus single women, like the difference is so crazy to me. Like you hear the word bachelor and you instantly think, oh, like 35, 40, 45-year-old man. He's probably still moderately attractive. He lives in a nice penthouse in his bachelor pad and he has a lot of casual sex, but he never commits to anybody. He's super cool and he's happy with his life because he gets to focus on his career and his finances and he never has to be tied down. Like he just gets to be free. You hear single woman and the imagery is almost always a woman who's not that attractive. She's probably a little bit overweight. She is alone in her apartment with a bunch of cats. It stinks in there. She's drinking herself into a hole and she's single because nobody wants to be with her. The bachelor is single because he wants to be. The woman is single because nobody wants to be with her and it must be something wrong with her. Like that's insane. Or like you go to a wedding as a single woman, been here, you talk to like your friends, in-laws or whoever, and they ask if you're single. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm single. And they're like, you'll find somebody soon. Yo, don't worry, you'll find somebody. I didn't ask. I thank you. You go to a wedding as a single man, and if someone asks about your relationship status, it's probably not followed up with, oh, it's okay, you'll find somebody. They're probably just like, oh, well, you know, focus. It's good to focus on your career. It's good to focus on the finances. Like, it's just a completely different story. And that is crazy to me because, anybody who's been in a long-term relationship can tell you it's not easy. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of emotional energy. You have to compromise and sacrifice a lot. And it's worth it to be in the relationship, but it is like a downside of relationships. And so it seems that anyone who's been in one can understand why sometimes people don't want to be in one. Like anyone who's actually been there can understand why you might not necessarily want to be there right now. And B, if anybody could understand wanting to be single, if either gender had more of a right to want to be single, wouldn't it be the women, since we're the one who have to do like 90% of the emotional labor in those relationships, and we're the ones who have to essentially turn into maids and cooks when we get married? Obviously, if that's the type of marriage you want, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're the ones that have to be free, unpaid therapists for years and years on end, and still possibly most likely get cheated on. Like if anybody should want to be single, it really should be us. I feel like this idea that women just need relationships to be happy and we need to be in some sort of proximity to a man in order to feel fulfilled was manufactured. I feel like it was manufactured a long time ago because men knew, like, look, I need somebody in my house that's going to cook and clean. I need her to want to do it. So we need to start convincing them, like, this is what they want and this is the only way for them to be happy. Because there's no way that's not a natural inclination that just applies to every woman. I don't believe that. I just don't. And I feel like, I know y'all made it up because that's not even biblical. That's not even biblical. The Bible actually says when God created a man and woman, he created a man and he said, it's not good for a man to be alone. Let me make him a woman. So if anybody was not equipped to be alone, it would be y'all. They have been tricking us for centuries into thinking that it's us that needs the relationship and it's us that needs the marriage and it's us that needs that happy home and that picket fence. It's them, y'all. It is them.
What really throws people off is that he's not just surviving, he's stable. No chaotic budgeting. No emotional spending sprees. No, we need a bigger place conversations. Just predictable expenses, controlled habits, and long-term thinking. When a man only has to account for himself, financial discipline becomes easier by default.
Okay, so when y'all start talking about dudes not taking y'all out on dates, I'll be quiet because here's the thing. Going on dates is the bare minimum. So I just feel like, what exactly are you requiring for the man to be in your presence if a date is not one of them? That's my question. Are you allowing him to be in your presence for free? Like, how exactly are we getting to the no dates part? I tell my story times on here all the time. I am asked on dates all the time. Sometimes I go, the majority times I don't. Sometimes I stand them up. Like, I just don't, you have to set the standard of, if you want to see me, plan a date. If the man don't plan a date, okay, on to the next one. Like, you don't have to settle for, oh, well, he this, and oh, he busy, and oh, he'll call me when he can. What? Don't give him the option to call you when he can. You go call somebody else. Let another somebody call you. A lot of people A lot of girls I notice, y'all be in relationships with y'all self. You think you're locked in with this man, he's still locked in the streets. He's still locked up in jail. He's locked in with everybody, everything but you. And I'm gonna be clear. He is taking a girl out on dates. It's just not you. He is blowing down somebody's phone. It's just not your phone. He is popping up on some girl. He just ain't popping up on you. So it's just like, again, when it comes to y'all talking about dudes don't take girls out on dates anymore, what men are y'all talking? Who y'all talking about? Who is it? Any man who ever wanted my attention had a date planned within a couple days to a week, because that's what I require. And if a date is not planned within a couple days to a week, because let's be real, I can't make him, okay? But if it is not planned and it's a requirement of mine, the nigga's going on the block list. Stop allowing someone to have access to you who is not doing what you need them to do. Like, this is just a word for my girlies. This is I mean, even if you are in an active relationship, you've been in one for years, and that man is still not dating you and courting you, yeah, just because you're in a relationship, those things don't stop. Because there's still a man out here who is still waiting to date you and court you. Do not settle. And in the meantime, you go out, you date yourself, you have a good old time with yourself. I love going out by myself. I have turned down dates to go out by myself. At that point, I just don't want to entertain conversation. I don't want to hee-hee-ha. I just want to have my little cute little cocktail, Lord Jesus, all by myself. So learn how to enjoy your own time and don't yearn for time and attention from somebody else. But if you do give somebody else time and attention, you better make sure it is worth it for you.
And here's the uncomfortable part. Single men don't have lifestyle pressure. They're not competing on Instagram. They're not financing aesthetics. They're not stretching budgets to maintain an image. Simplicity isn't flashy, but it compounds.
No, males are not choosing, but
Oh, yes, they are.
I do find it hilarious how they are all like, yeah, we're done with women. That's why we're all single, because we chose to be done with women.
You know, if someone tells you something often enough, maybe you should start believing them, because, yeah, a lot of men are just completely done with dating.
You guys didn't choose that. You know you didn't choose that.
Oh, but they did. What exactly is so hard to believe about that?
You know that right now women are becoming really picky and not choosing men that all they do is bring a paycheck.
Like I said before, there's a lot of women that are very upset that a lot of guys are actually choosing to be single because they want all of the power for themselves and to be able to dictate who they date. It is incomprehensible to some that guys actually can choose who to date.
Although there are still women out there who will accept that. And I suggest you go find them and leave us alone.
Oh, I don't think that'll be a problem at all, because it's almost like personality types similar to...
The narrative said men needed relationships to mature. But a lot of men matured the moment they stopped outsourcing responsibility and started managing everything directly. Money, time, health, goals.
There's this new culture on TikTok that's going around of women saying that men aren't lonely enough, and this is exceptionally dangerous for women. Do you know what happens when men get lonely? The current destructive culture that we have now in the weak men, that's exactly what happens. Their isolation turns into aggression, and guess who that's taken out on? So as a woman, before you promote men aren't lonely enough, be very careful, because the consequences may be coming for you.
When you remove social performance, your savings rate improves. When you remove comparison, your stress drops. When you remove constant expectation, your focus sharpens.
A lot of men are opting to stay single versus dealing with these women. And I don't blame them. I really don't blame them. Because realistically speaking, you're spending significantly more time, money, effort, and resources to attract women that are half as good. You're paying double the price for a more used asset, bro. I'm gonna go to the Mercedes dealership and spend $250,000 for a G-Wagon, but the G-Wagon has been wagging and that shit's at 100,000 miles? Nah, bro. He's done getting BBLs, thinking that brings the mileage back. No, it doesn't. But they try to tell you, oh, new body, new me. Out of here. That is the new sexual marketplace. That is modern women for you.
It's not that he cracked some secret economic code. He just stopped funding unnecessary complexity.
We don't have a male loneliness epidemic. We have a male apathy epidemic. I recently went on vacation with my family, and on this vacation, my sister and I went for a short hike, and on our way back, we were approached by two dogs snarling, growling, barking, clearly aggressive. We start making noise, screaming, yelling, carrying on, trying to draw attention. While this is happening, I glance to my left, and I realize there's a man standing on his porch. So I start looking to this man, hoping that he might step in and help. Instead, this man proceeds to shout at my sister and I, "They're not my dogs, stop yelling at me." 2 days later, later, I was on a walk with my dad and I was fuming still over this interaction. He was like, I don't understand why you're so upset about this. And I told my sister that. She said, you're upset because that man was more outraged by two women making noise because they were fearful for their safety than he was by the possibility of witnessing them being mauled to death by dogs. So when men say, we're natural protectors, I have to say, from what? If not rabid animals, if not other men, if not crime, then what?
And that's what feels unsettling, because if a man can live calmly, affordably, and comfortably on his own, then the leverage shifts. He's not rushing. He's not desperate. He's not negotiating from scarcity.
Take care of the man that takes care of you. There's so much advice on the internet telling women to, play men, get that money, do that, whatever. You're gonna do that. But when you have a good man, make sure you take care of him. Make sure he is fed. Make sure his mental health is right. Make sure that he is working out. Make sure that he is not drained. Make sure that his back is rubbed. Make sure that he has a home-cooked meal every day if that's what he wants. Don't be spending all his money while he's high and dry and broke and you loaded over there. I feel like we have gotten to this mentality of like the rappers, girlfriends, and baby mamas, and everybody want that kind of lifestyle. Women who are actually looking for a partner. If you are looking for marriage and happiness and stability and companionship, you cannot be selfish. Now, if that man ain't worth nothing and you just getting what you can out of the situation, then by all means, do you, boo. But if that man makes sure that you are respected, happy, taken care of, have all the nice things that you like, you need to make sure that he gets the same in return. I feel like this is why a lot of men are getting to the point where they're saying like marriage is no point for men. What are they getting out of marriage? And it's the same way for women. They feel like they're not getting certain things out of a marriage. But speaking from a perspective of having a good man that takes care of you, it has to be reciprocated. Don't be selfish, please. Not with a good man.
In 2026, the struggling single man stereotype doesn't land the same way, because the quiet reality is this. Some of them didn't fall apart. They streamlined, and they're doing just fine.
Men stopped playing by the rules, and now everyone's freaking out. Let's break down why silence has become the loudest move.